Good evening, friends. Today we are going to see another library module of Python, that is SymPy, which is the short form for symbolic mathematics. To use SymPy, we have to import SymPy, and then we have to designate it with an alias name. Instead of using the whole of SymPy as its prefix for calling any functions from SymPy library, usual procedure is to take SP as the uh, short form for SymPy. So here in the first line, I'm importing SymPy. Uh, First line is from SymPy import star. So this imports all the functions from SymPy and then gives the name for SymPy as SP in the second line. So first let me, previously I have not used this with NumPy. So now I'm introducing this new form here. So from SymPy import, instead of all the functions, you can even call whatever function you want, a particular function. Now I want to demonstrate all. So I'm taking it as all indicated by this asterisk after this import. Okay. So from SymPy import all functions, then import SymPy as SP. So this has no error. So it has given this indication what. Then first of all, what is this SymPy? So this gives the mathematical expressions in the form that we are familiar with. So for example, summation, we are familiar with writing the summation in the using the symbol sigma. That is typed as it is using this SymPy, and that is used also for computations. And similarly, integration symbol, we know that the integration symbol. So instead of any other form, it takes that symbol itself and writes the uh, integral of the expression that we have given. Okay. So to use any of these functions of SymPy, we have to define which are the variables we are going to use in our expressions. So how to define the variable? So those variables are called symbols in SymPy. If you have only one variable, say here in this cell, I have taken X as one variable, Y as another variable. So a single variable, we define it using this syntax. Symbol, and then within parentheses and within quotes, write the variable that you are defining it as symbol. So X is equal to symbol, then within parentheses and quotes X. So when you are defining only one, the symbol starts with capital S. Okay. So you can even define multiple variables in a single line. For that, the syntax is symbols. So you see that this is the plural symbols, and the S is small letter here. And all the variables you want to define as symbols, you write it on the left-hand side of this equal sign. And within parentheses, you give all the variables that you have written here in the same order and enclose it within quotes. So that will define all the variables as symbols in these expressions. So let me run both the cells. So no syntax error. Next, I want to write this x plus y plus 2x minus y using this symbols. So already I have defined what are the symbols that appear in this expression. X and y are the symbols. So if I run this cell, it will give me the expression. Even if there is any simplification has to be done, it will do that and give the expression. So what is the simplified version of this? 2x plus x is 3x, and y and minus y gets cancelled. You get the result as 3x. So this, even though I have written it an expression, it has simplified it and given the output as the result of the simplified version of this. Okay. Suppose you want to reverse, in place of x, I want to take y, and in place of y, I want to take x. You just reverse the order in which you type the variables within this symbol syntax. So now I'll define x and y as variables, but within symbols, I'll write y and x. So if I call x, it will give me y. If I call y, it will give me x. So if I run this cell, See, I'm asking here X. That means this is simply write the variable and run that cell means it will give what is the value of that variable. It is as good as print X. It is similar to print X. Okay. So the value of X is Y here. So similarly, since I have interchanged it, when I call Y, I will get the X. Okay. So I can even give a different name for the variables that I am specifying. Here I have taken X and Y as variables, but I am writing it as symbols as variable 1, var1 and var2. Now if I run this cell and then call X and Y, I get for X var1, for Y var2. Okay. So for X I got var1, for Y I got var2. So this is how we define the symbols before using the functions of SymPy module. Next, so given any expression, how we can expand it and simplify it. So again, I'm taking X and Y as variables and defining them as symbols in SymPy. Then I've taken an expression X plus Y whole square. So this, let me run these two cells. First, I have defined X and Y, then X plus Y whole square. It gives me output as X plus Y whole square as we write, not as to the power of the 2 asterisk into 2. Okay, so double asterisk into 2 will give the raise the power of this quantity to this value, is it not? That is the way we write in Python. But symbolic module will convert it to the regular way of writing that X plus Y whole square. Okay, so now I want to expand this X plus Y whole square, X square plus 2xy plus Y square. For that, the function is expand and then give the expression. So now you get X square plus 2xy plus Y square, as we are familiar with this type of writing a expansion of this X plus Y whole square. Similarly, suppose if it is a trigonometric function, so sine of X plus Y I want to expand. This sine I am calling it from the SymPy module. So I have attached sp dots sine of X plus Y. And then I'm giving another argument which will make the trigonometric functions as true. That means it will consider this as a trigonometric function and then expand it. Okay, so this whole line meaning that expand in the expand function, make that whatever I have given here as the consider that as a trigonometric function. That is done by making trig is equal to true, and then take this from the SymPy module sp dot sine of X plus Y, then expand it. So if I run this, I will get the expansion of sine of X plus Y, which is sine X cos Y plus sine Y cos X. So that is about using the trigonometric functions or any other expressions, how to expand the expression. Suppose I want to simplify an expression. Here is an expression X plus xy whole divided by y. So what is the result of simplification of this? Xy divided by y, y cancels in this term and this term will be x divided by y. Okay. So if I run this cell, I'll get x plus x divided by y. Okay, this is how we make use of the function simplify and expand. Any doubts?
No.
No. Okay. Next, how to take the sum. This is how we make use of that sigma for finding the sum. Here I have an expression 1 divided by x square plus x. And this term, I want to sum up to 10 terms for sigma varying from 1 to 10. So here the variable is x, which I have already defined it as a symbol. So I want to write this in the form sigma x varying from 1 to 10 of 1 over x square plus x. So that I am designating by variable name expr in expression. Then I am calling that expression to print the output of result of this line execution. So So this is how it looks. So expression is equal to sum 1 over x square plus x, 1 over x square plus x, and that sum is designated by the symbol sigma, and the variable is x, and it is taking values from 1 to 10. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, this is sigma, x is varying from 1 to 10, 1 over x square plus x. We can evaluate this, is it not? You can take values for x from 1 to 10 and get the sum and then get the final answer. To evaluate this, the function is eval f and then blank parenthesis. So write the expression variable name you want to evaluate, which is in the form of the sigma. Then eval f with a closed parenthesis with blank. Okay, this will evaluate this whole thing and give me the answer. So if you calculate this, no, substituting 1 to 10, you get 0.9090 like this. Okay, so this evaluation can also be done by means of another function called do it and then blank parenthesis. So give the variable name, then dot do it like this. So this also gave the answer, but this will be in the rational form, not in the decimal places. So this is more exact than this because there is a round off here, which makes it not exactly equal to the value that you get it. So a rational form of this will be the exact value, so that you can get it by using do it. That is the difference between eval f and do it. Okay. So similar to this sigma, we have the product also. So which is given by capital sigma and then the expression. So that to get that in the product form, the same expression I'm writing product. You just see here in this sum, S is capital, and in this product, P is capital. Product of same expression 1 by x square plus x with x as variable and product taking for x varying from 1 to 10. Then I'm calling that expression. If I run this cell, I get the product. So if you remember, this is the symbol which gives product of the terms of this form. So it is 1 by x square plus x. When x is equal to 1, that multiplied by 1 over 2 square plus 2 multiplied by 1 over, like that it goes up to 10. Okay, this is the product of the terms of this form. So this we are familiar. So to evaluate this, I use it, do it to get the exact value in the rational form, or use eval f to get it in the floating point form. Okay, so this 1 over this big number will be approximately equal to 6.9 so much into 10 to the power of minus 50. Is this clear? Product and sum? Anyone?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So next, suppose I want to represent a rational number, that is 1 over 5. That I can do by calling this function rational with R capital, and then give the numbers, the numerator first and the denominator next. See here I am taking a is equal to rational 1 comma 5, which I must get 1 over 5. Okay. So if I multiply by 2, I'll get the answer 2 by 5. Okay. Then find out what is the type of this a. We know how to get the type of this a. You will get that as a rational number. Okay. So a is a rational number. So if you simply divide, you will get the floating point number. So you here b is equal to 10 by 3. If I execute this, it is 3.333, and if I find out the type, I must get a float. Okay. So instead, if I want to get the exact value, just use the rational. That will give you 10 divided by 3, and type of this is rational. Okay. I can even use this simplify. Did I explain here? No. Simplify. To simplify, I can even give expressions like this. 10 by 5 plus 4 by 2. You want to simplify, that means you give it within quotes, and for this simplify function. Simplify 10 by 5 plus 4 by 2. How much is it? Isn't it 4?
Ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Suppose if I don't want to simplify it, get it in a form as it is, type properly like this in the rational form, then make that evaluate is equal to false. By default, it will be true. So that is why when you run this, you get the simplified answer. So if you make it false, you will get 10 divided by 5 plus 4 divided by 2 like this. Okay. So when you use variables here in SymPy, you must be careful. You should not again use the certain keywords that are meant for something else like pi. Pi is for the 22 by 7 pi that we are familiar with. So you cannot use it as variable name. And see, if I write pi and execute this, I'll get the pi in this symbolic form itself. That is because I'm taking this as this from the SymPy library. Okay. So if you evaluate this pi dot evalf, I get 3.1415, so much. And you don't want so many number of decimal places. You want to limit it to certain value. That value you can give. It will limit to this value minus 1. Okay, here I have given 5. So it will give up to a decimal places of 5 minus 1, that is 4. That is 3.1415. 15, that is rounded off. Okay, so 1416. The same thing can also be done with this for this pi. So n of pi comma 5, that is rounding it to 4 decimal places. And next another symbol is E. This is Euler identity, that is E. What is the value of that? We are familiar with that small e, and E is 2.71 and so much. And you here I am adding this E plus pi. So for E it takes this value, for pi it takes the other value, and before that it gives the symbolic expression for E plus pi. And if you want to evaluate it, if dot evalf, E plus pi dot evalf will give you sum of E and pi. So that was 3.141 something. This is 2.71. So it works out to be 5.8598 and so much. And infinity is represented by two small letters O typed side by side like this. So these are OO, which will consider it as infinity. If I run this, I'll get the infinity side. Okay. So infinity greater than 9999. So what I should get the answer for this if I run this?
True.
True.
True. Okay. And for this line, I must get
False.
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 Okay. For this,
Infinity.
infinity only. And for this also, infinity. Okay. Okay. So that is about some basics that you should know before using SymPy. So next, what are the other things we can do with this SymPy? So take the limits. So we can take the limit of an expression with the variable tending to what value. Here is a, here I'm taking, let me run this cell. If I don't run this cell, I will not get the answer. So in addition to these two lines, which I've used in the previous notebook page, that is from SymPy import star import all functions, then import SymPy as SP. I'm also defining certain variables x, y, z, and omega. Omega is 2 pi f, which we use in trigonometric functions, and then theta, which is again a symbol used in trigonometric functions. So I have taken because my examples further will use that. So omega, theta, x, y, z, all these are taken as variables and we are defining them as symbols. So within quote and within parenthesis, either separating them by comma or space, write all the variables in the same order that you have written on the left-hand side of the equal sign, x, y, z, omega, and theta. So now in the first example of this limits, I'm taking 1 over x, and in the limit, as this variable x tends to 0. So limit 1 by x as x tends to 0. What is the answer for this?
0.
Zero.
0.
Irana? Why it is not defined? Because why I'm getting this error, you know? Can you identify why I'm getting this error?
We should define limit first.
How to do that?
Assign a value to it.
Assign value to
By
both.
assigning a variable.
No, this cell, did I run this cell?
No, ma'am.
No, then how will it recognize that it is get it from which module? No, that is a mistake because I did not run this cell. It is not recognizing the limit as a simple module function. Now you see. So limit 1 by x as x tends to 0 is 1 over 0, which is infinity. Okay. And if I make x tends to infinity, I should get the
Zero.
reverse. I must get a 0. Okay. And limit x as x tends to infinity is infinity. And as x tends to 0, it is 0. Now the sin x by x, that sin x I'm taking from the SymPy module. So sp dot sin x whole divided by x. As x, the variable tends to 0. So you remember what is the answer for this? Sin x by x as in the limit as x tends to 0.
1.
1.
Yes. Good. So that is 1. Okay. So that I got it. So this is over. Next, this 1 by x as x tends to 0. In certain situations, we have to define whether this 0 is approached from the positive direction or from the negative direction. That is, x may tends to 0 on the positive x-axis, okay? Or it may tend to 0 from the negative x-axis also, okay? So we can indicate the direction by this extra argument in this limit as dir is equal to indicate the sign within this code, whether it is approaching this value from the positive direction or negative direction. Okay, so these two lines are indicating that it is. So when it is approached from positive direction, what do you expect the answer will be for this limit 1 over x as x tends to 0 from positive direction? So we can have two answers. No, what are the two answers?
Plus infinity and minus.
Or minus infinity, is it not? So if it approaches from plus direction, it has to go to plus infinity, and from minus direction, it has to go to minus infinity. Okay, you understood this extra feature? Direction. Okay. See, learning these simple things, these will help you when you try to apply it to taking certain project and try to write the code for this. Followed? So is the limits part clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, let us take derivative. So derivative and partial derivative. So now I'm taking the derivative is written in the symbolic form by using this derivative with capital D. Okay. To evaluate that, use it, either do it or eval f. Okay. So let me use first write this sin x derivative with respect to x. What I must get? D by dx of sin x. Okay, in the symbolic form, d by dx of sin x is the derivative of sp dot sin x comma x. So if I evaluate it, derivative sp dot sin x with respect to x, then dot do it will evaluate d by dx of sin x. What is the result? Cos x. Okay. So this two-step process I can reduce. Suppose you are not interested in every time typing this, you just want the result of it. You skip this derivative, just give diff, diff, then sp dot sin x comma x. This will evaluate derivative of sin x with respect to x and give you the answer directly. Okay. So next, instead of simply sin x, let me take sine of omega into x. This omega already I have defined as symbol in the beginning. Okay, omega. So omega into x. Now sine is having two variables, omega and x, but I want the differentiation with respect to x. So it considers this omega also as one of the variable. So it will give me partial derivative of this sin x with respect to x. So dou by dou x of sine of omega x. Whereas earlier we got d by dx of sin x, which is definite derivative. Here it is partial derivative. Okay, so suppose if I do it with respect to omega, here I have taken derivative sp dot sine of omega into x, then comma, the variable I have taken omega. So what should be the symbolic representation of this? Dou by
Omega.
Do omega.
omega of sine of omega x. Okay. Suppose if you evaluate it. So let me evaluate the second one after derivative with respect to omega and evaluate that sin x. So now it's taking x as constant. So x cos of omega x. If you do that with respect to x, what you will expect?
Omega cos
Omega
omega.
cos of
Omega
omega.
cos of omega x. Okay. So this is first order derivative. Okay. So just with respect to x. Suppose I want to do it once again, that is second order derivative, you just repeat that x. Or more than 2 times means you can write it as that number into x. So let me evaluate, run this cell. So this gives me representation of derivative of sin x, second order derivative with respect to x, d square by dx square of sine of x. Okay, so with respect to omega, not with respect to omega. So evaluation of this expression, second derivative, directly using this diff function with respect to x, the second derivative with respect to x, what you should get? Differentiate this once again. Minus x square
X square.
cos of sine of omega x. Okay. So, so this is already once differentiated. Do it once again with respect to x. So similarly, suppose you want 3 times means you just write 3 here. Variable is x with respect to which you want the derivative, and how many, what is the order of the derivative, you just give it here. So this will evaluate. Once again, it will differentiate this and give me the answer. What is the answer for this? If you differentiate it once again,
Minus omega cube sine omega x.
not sine, cos. Isn't it?
Yes.
Minus omega cube cos of omega x. Okay. So that is how we get the derivatives and partial derivatives. Here is another example where I have 2 functions. F defined by sp dot cos of x into y. It's again a function of 2 variables, and sine the function of x into z. So you remember x, y, z, all the 3 we defined as variables here, symbols. Okay, so this, if I write f is equal to sp dot cos of xy plus sp dot sine of xy, what I must get for this answer output f is sine xz plus cos xy. Okay, so differentiate this with respect to x, derivative f comma x, and do it, evaluate. With respect to x, when I differentiate it, what I get? Z sin x, z cos x, that is the second term, and minus y sin xy. Okay, z cos of xz minus y sin of xy. Okay, and evaluate this. The evaluation of this This is second derivative with respect to x and evaluated, simplified. Okay. So that is minus y square cos of xy. So if you differentiate it once again, what happens? Minus y square cos of xy. Okay. And this will be z square sine of xz. So because I have given once again x 2 times x, derivative of f twice and evaluate it. Suppose I want to evaluate with respect to all the variables. What are the variables? X, y, and z. So this is an example where our variable name p contains derivative of this function f defined by this f is equal to, we have already defined. What are the derivatives? With respect to x, 2 times, that is second derivative with respect to x, and 1 time with respect to y, and 3 times with respect to z. Okay, so if I write that equation, how it will look? So in the numerator, of course, it is partial derivative because we have 3 variables, and in the numerator is 3 plus 1 plus 2, that is down to the power of 6. And in the denominator, you have z cube, x square, and y. Dow z cube, dow y, dow x square of sin xz plus cos xy. If you evaluate this, that is p dot do it, what is the answer for this? Tell me. One by one you do it. First time you evaluated x with respect to x, what you get? Next, with respect to once again x, then y, then z, the answer is going to be 0. You verify it afterwards. Okay. So this is how we use the derivative function. Then doing the actual derivative. That is what I have already explained. Just give the diff, then the function, then with respect to what you want to evaluate the differentiation, or comma, how many times, what is the derivative order, that also you can give. Okay. This is, we have already done. So these are definite derivatives. Then coming to integrals. So integrals, we can have either indefinite integrals without any limits or definite integrals with limits. Okay. So the function that evaluates integral is gives its symbolic form is integral. So integral, that is with I capital, integral of x power 4. This will give you in symbolic forms this integral symbol, then x power 4 dx. Okay, so if I run this cell, you find that the symbol for integration, then x power 4 dx. So that is obtained by using this function integral with capital I. Okay, so to evaluate this integral x power 4 dx is what?
4x cube.
Is it differentiation or integration? 4x
X
cube
power
is differentiation.
five.
3 by
X power 5 by 5.
Five.
So when I do it, I must get it in the symbol form. What is the result of this? That is x power 5 by 5. Okay. So instead of these two steps, if you don't want directly, if you want to evaluate, just do it using the function integrate. This I is small letter now. Integrate x power 4. So this will give you directly the answer x power 5 divided by 5. Okay. So that you can do with the trigonometric function also. This is the cos x I am taking from SymPy module, sp.cos x, and integrate it with respect to x. That I want first in the symbolic form, integral. So if I run this cell, I get integral of cos x dx. Okay. And if I do it, do it, I'll get the answer for this. Integral cos x dx is sin x. Similarly, that I can do directly with integrate sp.cos x comma x. Okay. Then suppose I have omega x both. Then what would be the integral? This is symbolic form I will get sigma, integral cos of omega x dx. When you evaluate this, what is the answer? With respect to x? Integral cos is sin x, no? So cos omega x is sin omega x by
Sin omega x by omega.
omega. For what
Sin
here,
omega.
since it is considering this omega also as a variable, it will check for all the values of omega. This sin omega x by omega is valid only if omega is not equal to 0. Okay, if omega is equal to 0, what is it? What happens in this expression? When omega is 0, this is cos 0, which is 1. So this will be simply integral dx. Integral dx is what?
X.
X, is it not? So
Yes, ma'am.
if this is valid for all values of omega except omega is not equal to 0, except omega is equal to 0. For omega is equal to 0, it is x. So that is the beauty of it. So it considers all possible cases for the variables that are there in the expression we are integrating. Okay. So similarly for sine also, first in the symbolic form and then evaluating this. So for omega not equal to 0. So when omega is 0, what happens to this? Sine 0, it is 0. So integral is 0. If it is not equal to 0, it evaluates as minus cos omega x by omega. Is this clear? Indefinite integrals?
Yes,
Hmm?
ma'am.
Okay. So next, definite integrals. These will have limits for the integration, upper and lower limits. Suppose if we want to integrate x square with respect to x between the limits lower limit 1 and upper limit 2, this is the syntax to give that. Integral, to write it in the symbolic form, this with capital I integral, then within outer closed parenthesis, give the expression you want to integrate. Here it is x square. Then open another parenthesis and within that you give which is the variable with respect to which you want to integrate. And then the limits in the order lower first and the upper next. So if I run this, I must get that symbolic representation of this integration. So integral 1 to 2 x square dx. Okay. So if I evaluate this, what is integral x square dx? What is integral x square dx?
X cube by 3.
Cube
By
Cube
3.
by 3 and substitute lower and upper limits. It will be 1 by 3 minus 9 by 3. So what I must get? I'll evaluate this, dot do it. So in the rational form, I'll get it as 7 by 3. Okay, so which I can do using this small letter integrate. That also give me the same result. You can substitute and get and verify this. So next is cos x. So this is one trigonometric function integrated with respect to x between the limits 0 to pi by 2. This pi by 2 I am taking from SimPy module. So that is why it is sp dot pi by 2. So if you integrate this cos x, it will be sin x.
Sin
Is
x.
it not? And substitute the limits. First I'll get it in the symbolic form because I have written integral. Okay. So integral 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx. So if I evaluate it with dot do it, I'll get the answer for that. So which will be 1. So this will be minus sin x. No? Minus sin x or plus sin x?
plus
Plus
sign.
X.
Plus sin x. When you substitute 0, it will be 0. When you substitute pi by 2, it will be plus sign.
Ma'am, first upper limit minus lower limit.
No,
ma'am.
when you integrate cos, it will be plus sign. Okay. Upper limit first, no? So pi by 2
Yes, ma'am.
minus 0.
0.
So that is why it is sin pi by 2 minus sin 0. So that will be 1. Okay. So which in a single line, we can get that same answer with this. Okay. Suppose I want to evaluate this cos x with respect to x, integrate it with the limits minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. I have given integrate, not integral. So I'll get the answer directly. It is going to be 2. Okay. So it is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So when I substitute the upper limit, it is 1. Then minus of the lower limit, which is minus 1. So it adds up to 2. So that is about some trigonometric functions, how it evaluates. Next, let us take an exponential function, expx, that is e to the power of x, integrate it with respect to x between the limits 0 and infinity. Okay. It is going to be infinity. So because it is e to the power of plus x, okay. So this is infinity minus 1, which is going to be equal to infinity. Then same exponential, I write it as capital E to the power of minus x square. So minus x square is the power of this E, and with respect to x integrated between the limits minus infinity to plus infinity, in symbolic form, it looks like this. E to the power of minus x square integrated with respect to x between the limits minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. So if you evaluate this, what happens? What should I get? E to the power of some minus x square with respect to x. You try this. You should get it as root pi. Okay. Same thing. Integral. What is the difference here? If you do it, I think it has been repeated. Okay. In a single line also, you can get the same answer. Okay. That is about definite integrals. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No. Next, solving the equations. Some linear equations, if you have, we can solve for the variables in a set of linear equations. So that is done by the function solve. Here there are two equations that are given. Let me run this cell. So this one is here you must understand the two equations are x plus y is equal to 2. The second one is 2x plus 3y is equal to 1. So to give the equations for this solve function, get all the variables to the left hand side of this equal side and make the right hand side 0 and give only the left hand side. So the first equation is x plus y minus 2 is equal to 0 when I take this 2 to the left hand side. So that is why I got the first equation as x plus y minus 2. So next one is 2x plus 3y minus 1 is equal to 0. So take the left hand side of this 2x minus plus 3y minus 1. Okay. Solve for which are the variables you want to solve. So first you enclose the equations. It may be more than 2 also, but enclose it within the square bracket, demarcating the equations by means of a comma between them. Then afterwards, comma, and then give the variables you want to evaluate, solve for from those expressions. Here the expressions are in terms of the variables x and y. So I'm giving x and y. Again, they are enclosed within the closed bracket and whole thing within the curved parenthesis, and give the function solve. So this, if you solve it, you will get x is equal to 5 and y is equal to minus 3. That is the answer that we have got. for x 5, y minus 3. You can substitute and find out here. If you put x is equal to 5 and y is equal to minus 3, this becomes 0. Is it not? Minus 3 minus 2, then plus 5. Similarly, here is another equation, which is x square plus 2x plus 1. And this is an equation. Here, a set of equations, simultaneous equations, and solved. Here, it is a single equation. So I'm writing it as EQ, which represents that this is the equation. And to the left of this comma, give the left-hand side. And to the right, you give the right-hand side. This is x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So what must be the answer for this? X is equal to minus 1. Okay. So this is x square plus 2x plus 1. Let me factor this quadratic. That is done by this function factor, then the quadratic. That gives you x plus 1 whole square is equal to 0. And I can even, I think we'll do it, must give me the answer. No, it is not evaluating this. Find out whether you have to use solve or evaluate. Solve, I think solve will give the answer for this. Okay. Already we got it, solve P. So that is about solving the equation. So it need not just be quadratic, you can have any equation here in place of this. Is this clear? Okay. Next, let
Yes,
us
ma'am.
take expressions and evaluate them by substituting a value for the variables that are there in the expression. So here again, an example with exp is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1 I have taken. So this is x square plus 2x plus 1. Then to substitute the value, this is the function. First give the variable name which contains the expression, then dot, then subs, subs, within bracket, give which variable you want to substitute and what value you want to substitute. So if I substitute x is equal to 2 in this, what I will get?
9.
Okay. And not that you have to substitute a numerical value, you can even substitute a variable in place of a variable. Here I am substituting y plus 1 for the variable x. Let me see what happens when I substitute that. So it becomes y plus 1 whole square plus 2 into y plus 1. That becomes 2y plus 2, and it adds with this, makes the constant value 3. So it is 2y plus 1 whole square plus 3. Okay. This substitute you can do for multiple variables also. Suppose your expression is having 3 variables, x plus y plus z, a simple one I have taken to illustrate this. Then expression dot subs within parenthesis and within square bracket, you give the variable name and the value you want to substitute in the form of tuples. So the first tuple is x comma 2, which indicates that substitute 2 to the variable x. And next tuple is y comma 3, that indicates substitute 3 to the variable y. And the third one is z comma 1, which indicates that substitute the value 1 to z. So when I do that, what would be the expression value that I get? 2 plus 3 plus 1, that is 6. So if I run that, I must get 6. That is about substitution. Shall I continue? If you have problem, I'll stop at this. Some more things are there. Shivraj?
Ma'am, heli ma'am.
Shall I continue? It may take another 10 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Continue, madam.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am,
One
you can
more
continue.
page I have. I'll complete that so that we can start with the signals in the
Yes,
next.
ma'am. Madi, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, second order differential equation. How to solve the second order differential equation? Again, import SymPy as SP, and from SymPy import all the functions. Here I am defining T as symbol. See, I have used symbols itself, which is used for multiple variables. It works for single variable also. T as symbol, and then y as a function of y. Okay, y is equal to, I'm defining this as a function name. Okay, next, a second order differential equation is given here. It is an equation which is within this bracket. So this and this forms the outermost bracket. Within that, I have y of t into, sorry, not into, dot, differentiate y of t with respect to t 2 times. So this first term represents d square by dt square of y of t. Okay, minus y of t, comma, y of t, comma, e to the power of t. So this forms the left hand side of the second order differential equation. And on the right hand side, I have e to the power of t. So there is a comma which differentiates the left hand side and right hand side of this second order differential equation. So this will be symbolically written. If I execute this, again, I made the same mistake, is it not? I did not run these two cells. That is why it is not recognizing EQ, which is not defined. So let me run this cell, these two cells first. Okay. So this is d square by dt square of y of t minus y of t is the left hand side, and right hand side is e to the power of t. To solve this second order differential equation, the function is dsolve. That is differential equation solution of whatever you have written here, you take it within the bracket. And what is the function you want to get the solution for which? You want y of t is equal to as the solution for this second order differential equation. That is why we have defined this y as a function here. Okay. So what I must get if I differentiate this, you try it at home, what you must get. So this is the answer for the solution of the second order differential equation, which has e to the power of t on the right hand side. Okay, where C1 and C2 are constants. Similarly, here I have another variable f given by the equation, which is y of t dot diff t comma 2, which is, that means d square by dt square of y of t minus y of t. Same thing, but I am defining, designating it as a, with a variable name f. So if I call f, I will get the same symbolic representation of the second order differential equation. Then dsolve this f. Now I don't have to give the whole equation as we did here for this dsolve. Instead, you define that variable name which designates that second order differential equation. Dsolve f with, for the function y of t. I must get the same answer. Okay. So here another example, which is d square by dt square of y of t plus 2y of t dot diff t. That means 2 into d by dt of y of t is the second term, and third term is y of t, and then comma is encountered. So the left hand side stops here, and the right hand side is e to the power of t. So symbolically, it will be like this: d square by dt square of y of t plus 2 into d by dt of y of t plus y of t is equal to e to the power of t. So solve this, dsolve the variable g, which designates this second order differential equation with respect to solve for the function y of t. So y of t value is so much. Okay. So here is another example where the left hand side is y of t diff of t, and the right hand side is t divided by y of t. Okay. And the solution of this is like this. That is square root of c1 plus t square. There are two roots of. For this, one is square root of C1 plus T square. Another one is C1 plus T square. One is minus C1 plus T square. The other one is plus C1 plus T square. So this is directly I have given DSolve. That is why instead of that, first let me designate it with an name. R is equal to, then give this equation. I'll cut this. Okay. Then print R. Until that time, I'll suppress this. Okay, this is the equation. Now I will desolve R, comma, for y of t. Okay. So again, I'm getting you the same symbol. No, it's not in the symbolic form. Okay, anyway, the equation y of t has got two roots. One is minus square root of C1 plus T square. Another one is plus C1 plus T square. Okay. So that is about some main features as an introduction to symbolic mathematics module SymPy of Python library. You can go to this site where the documentation for SymPy is given, and you can explore more about its capabilities, how it can be used for matrices and many other capabilities. It has got a very wide application prospectus. So you can get the document and try all the remaining functions of that library. So that is about symbolic mathematics SymPy for today. Then coming to the various assignments and quizzes that I have posted. Answer the quizzes and you know how to submit it. That from second quiz onwards, I have graded, and that will automatically calculate. First quiz, I have to manually do it. It will take some time. Regarding the assignments, you can directly verify it in your Jupyter notebook and take the screenshot or convert it to PDF or even HTML. You just download and send it, no problem. Okay, that will be more easy for me to evaluate, I think. And that also gives you an opportunity to solve them in this Jupyter notebook. Okay, so you see that you will work them out in the Jupyter notebook, get the answers, and then just download that form and send it to me. You can download, either you can download it as, either HTML or even notebook, .ipynb. If you send it directly, this is also good. Send it as a notebook. Attach the type attachment with this notebook format, .ipynb. That also will do. Otherwise, you can just HTML format also, you send it, no problem. Okay. First, try it with the notebook format itself so that I can directly run it in my Jupyter notebook. And when you answer, no, you follow this. In the, suppose if you are answering the first question, let me take a notebook and explain. Suppose if it is your first question, you type your question in the cell, and then the next cells, whatever you execute and get the answer. This cell, you run it as a markdown cell or a heading cell. Okay, either you convert it to markdown cell or heading cell, so that that problem is there, and next you will have the answers for that. So in that whole format, you submit to me in the IPy notebook format. Okay, download that with this notebook format and attach it to your Google Classroom assignment submission portal. Okay. So that concludes today's session. from tomorrow onwards, we shall see how we can apply all this knowledge to the signals and system problems. A few type of problems. We cannot do the whole signals and systems, cover the whole thing here. That will give you an idea how we can apply all these knowledge about Python interpreter and the various modules that you learned, NumPy, SymPy, Matplotlib, and those 3 modules, and how to apply it and get the evaluation of the various problems under signals and systems. Okay, thank you for listening. Shivraj and Jansi, it's over.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Manas, any doubts?
Ma'am, for first coding questions also we have to do as she told now, ma'am.
No problem. If you have already submitted, no problem. You don't worry. From here on,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Because there is no space available, ma'am, to add an attachment. We have already submitted like
No
answers.
problem. So don't worry
Okay.
about if you have already submitted. Even the second assignment also, if you have already submitted, don't worry. In future assignments, you try to submit it like this so that I can verify it quickly. And it is a practice for you also. Is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Any doubts? No doubts?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, shall we
Stop
end the
share,
session
Manu.
now?